Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother, Mother, can you keep them in the dark for life? Can you hide them from a waiting world? Oh, Mother, Father, gonna take your daughter out tonight. Gonna show her my world. Oh, Mother, not about to see your light. And if you want
Hey kids, Privileged White Male Radio. My name is Rod. Same stretch of rough road as yesterday.
I can show you what it.
Yeah. So I have a moral dilemma. It's actually a dilemma that I found myself in as a teenager. If you get punched by a mentally handicapped person, do you have the right to punch back? Just a little moral conundrum I find myself in. No, I haven't been punched by a retarded individual lately. I was once, and yes, I did punch back. But I think that's kind of what we're seeing here with the whole Khan family uproar and Donald Trump. This guy gets up on stage at the DNC and attacks Donald Trump. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. The guy whipped out a copy of the Constitution and scolded Donald Trump. He attacked him. You have sacrificed nothing! Khan! Sorry. I can't believe it. I just constantly Khan, and all I can think of is Star Trek. I know I said that last time. I'm sorry, but I can't help it. So this Gold Star family, Mr. and Mrs. Khan, do what they do, and now Trump comes back and does what he does and basically hits back. And now I just got to listen to a press conference where the President of the United States is with the President of Singapore. And the first question that is brought to these two men as they're discussing the Trans-Pacific Partnership, amongst other things, ISIS, terrorism. That's what the President of Singapore is speaking about. And then it's time for questions from the press. And the first question is, President Obama, what do you think about Donald Trump's comments to the Khan family? And do you think he's fit to be president? Oh, and by the way, this recent airstrike in Libya, is that a direct result of your failure to take care of the problem during the first initial shit that went down in Libya when you didn't do anything? Blah, blah. And what does he do? He goes straight into a diatribe against Donald Trump. Yes, I said he was unfit. I said he was unfit, and I said it last week. I'll say it again. And I just think that when you've got these prominent Republicans coming out and siding with the Khans, Khan! Now we've got Obama and Hillary praising Republicans. This should be a red flag to everyone. Red flag number one, the sitting president of the United States usually doesn't inject himself into the current political race for president. That's usually not done. But not with this guy. He has no problem. Which is fine. It's all politics, so go for it, President Obama. You can step outside the box just like Donald Trump is. Donald Trump has started this whole not your normal election cycle thing, so I guess this is why we're seeing it. But red flag number two, the fact that You've got Hillary Clinton and President Barack Obama, two of the most vehement opponents against those in the Republican Party, those on the right, now praising them and speaking of them in terms like they're great statesmen and leaders for standing against Donald Trump, where if you go back just a few short months, both of these men were referring to the men and women they're speaking about today, the ship jumpers, as they were referred to as the evil scourge of society. Both of these people, both the president and Hillary Clinton, when asked what the single greatest threat to America was, said Republicans. But now today, because they're standing on principle, because of the cons, there's some kind of great, respectable statesmen and women? What political bullshit? It's just bullshit. I'm so sick of it, I had to shut it off. Look, who gives a shit? I'll say it. I could give two fucks about your Gold Star family status, Mr. Khan. I really couldn't give a fuck. You're doing nothing but denigrating the sacrifice your son made by continuing on news shows, perpetuating this bullshit. You brought this on yourself. I don't care what. It's just like I said in the beginning. You're not supposed to defend yourself if someone is beyond... I'm sick of the people that are supposedly beyond reproach. No one is beyond reproach. No one should get away with without impunity when you're going to attack another person in a political spectrum. No one! Gold Star family. My ass. I'd like to speak to some real Gold Star families and see if they would ever put themselves in the position that the cons have put themselves into. That's what I want to hear talked about in the press. That's what I want to see scrutinized. That's what I want to see called on the carpet. This guy works for Hillary Clinton. Great. Hillary's your gal. You're with her. That's fine and dandy. Who gives a shit? Use the death of your son 12 years ago to advance a political cause? I've heard countless military men on the news airwaves talk about how they were in theater while this Hayman Khan, I think is his name. I don't want to pronounce either one of their first names, both the father or the son, because they're tough to pronounce. Anyway, Captain Khan was over in the Middle East. I think it was Iraq. Not sure. Might be. I don't want to be inaccurate. And a taxi cab drove up, and it was suspected that this taxi cab was an IED. And he ordered his men away from the taxi cab, and then approached it. And then the guy inside, the kook, nutcase, radical Islamic piece of garbage, pulled his little cord on his goddamn vest and blew himself up and killed Captain Khan. That's how it happened. And I've heard countless military men say that because the rules of engagement changed, that's why Captain Khan had to approach that taxi in the way that he did, rather than to put a 50 caliber round through the radiator and entry compartment of that taxi, which was the previous terms of engagement, because we had to be nicer and we can't be so mean. It's a war, for Christ's sake. But no, things changed when Obama got in office. Obviously. But yet Mr. Khan, for some reason, thinks that continuing on that policy and having how many hundreds more military men and women die when they're not allowed to engage the enemy in the way that they should be, it's a disgrace. This whole thing's a disgrace on all sides. And as far as Donald Trump, I'll give Donald Trump his comeuppance as well. Shut your fucking mouth! Jesus Christ, Donald! Can you just let it go? Can you just let it go? You gotta keep flapping your gums about this. Stop! I know that's tough to do, Because the minute you stop, the press is all fucking over you. It's a rigged game on every level with this shit. It just is. I don't know if I'm going to make it to November. I really don't. I even stooped to listening to Alex Jones, Globalist Initiative, One World Order. I just listened to an hour and a half of Alex Jones. Bioweapons are going to use against all of humanity. Hey, I've got some really good super DNA juice. I'm selling it at 40% off. That's some great stuff. God, he is just amazing. He is fun to listen to. Crazy as a fucking loon, though. But maybe not too crazy. I don't know. Listen to Alex Jones. I listen to him on TuneIn. I always makes me cough when I do the Alex Jones impression. I'm surprised he doesn't hack all day. Alright. I'm just tired of the fucking con shit. Enough with this. Press won't let it die. Trump won't let it die. The Khan family won't quit. But she didn't say anything. And maybe she couldn't speak. Can we be honest? That's most of Islam. Does not let their women do a lot. I mean, why can't we be honest with that? By God, I sure hear about Christian oppression of women constantly. But Jesus Christ, you got Islam 10 times more oppressive towards women, gays, the whole goddamn 9 yards that you fucking liberals are constantly crying about. Yet you just have to lap at the ballsack of Muslims. I don't get it. Why are they your chosen people? Why are they the ones you feel you have to defend? Why? Why? Because they're being picked on. I get it. They're picking on, I don't like, they're bullies. God, some of you are just spineless morons. How do you get by in life? How do you survive? When your brain is that backwards. They're picking, stop picking on the Muslims. I'm going to defend them. Yeah, in the meantime, they're sawing priests' heads off at some church in France. Jesus Christ. But Rod, you can't say it's all of them. I'm not saying it's all of them, but it's a good majority of the religion that believes in the oppression of women and that homosexuals are a scourge of the earth, an abomination. Just like you railed against Christians who said the same thing. It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I am fucking Christian, right-wing Christian zealot fuckers. I hate you all. But God, the Muslims do it, and it's like, come over here, come here. Come here, let me pat you on the head. I know they're treating you badly. Let me hug you. Kumbaya, my lord. As they're sawing your fucking head off. Jesus Christ. I've had it. I'm getting back to the gravel pit. I have to go dump gravel in my trailer now. I do feel better, though. I always feel better after I verbally shit here on Spreaker. Thanks for listening.